Political discussion. Two news are on surface now. One is the ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine. That is considered as the out of sudden. It came as surprise. Whereas United States President Mr. Donald Trump, he had declared that he is not going to top Mr. Putin unless and until he is controlling the the nuclear plan or nuclear missile or whatever he is doing. But all of a sudden, the move had started from the United States to control the war between Russia and Ukraine. Anyway, political discussion. People who are following us on political discussion or whatsoever video we are uploading, we are making people completely updated on technology, updated on the news. This is highly required. Otherwise, it should not be a case that bombs should start hitting your head in a surprise manner the way it happened on Palestinian people in Gaza Strip. They did not understand what's going on, and then all out of sudden, bomb started hitting their head, and then 60,000 people got killed. If they were understanding the global scenario, then they would have saved their life prior one. So, so political discussion is important. Anyway, now the kind of 28 point deal, 28 agenda point in agenda deal, it is now being scheduled between Mr. Vladimir Putin and Vladimir Zelensky. Steve Witkoff, he is the person who is a special envoy of American president in Middle East, Mr. Steve Witkoff. Now he has come from Miami, I believe, from where the Miami is a place in Florida, in the United States, and he has brought a special message from Donald Trump, 28 key points, and that has been shown to the Vladimir Zelensky that if you ready upon this, then war will be over. Anyway, what are the points from the Vladimir Putin as far as Russia is concerned? What is the point they are bringing in? They are bringing in that Ukraine is part of Russia. Russia is saying this, and Russia is trying to control full Ukraine because of Ukraine, Russia was going down day by day in global economics, global trade. Ukraine was trying to overshadow over Russia. It was trying to become new Russia, shadowing complete Russia. Even United Nations Security Council, Western countries, they were giving the permanent membership to the Ukraine only, taking out from the Russia. That much it was trying to screen off Russia. So Russia is trying to control full Ukraine because that is the root cause of all problems. Anyway, what is there in 28 agenda, 28 key points as far as as far as the ceasefire would happen, and there will be a direct discussion between Mr. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. These include that Russia will become part of G7 country, means G8 country. Russia, Japan from this side, and then Italy, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Canada, and United States. So these 8 countries will become part of G8 country. So they will have direct control over the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. That is one thing. Second thing is that Ukraine cannot become member of NATO. Third thing is whatever in Russia, whatever Russia has occupied the Ukrainian part, claiming the Russian people live out here, all those parts that is called, I believe, Don. I always forget this name. Anyway, what are those 4 parts? Are, I believe, Luhansk region, Donetsk region, Kherson region, Zaporozhye region, and Crimea. 5 territory are there in the eastern side of Ukraine, that Donbass. All this region except Crimea is called Donbass region of Ukraine, and that constitutes around 20% of the Ukrainian area. More or less, that has been taken over by the Russia and Russian army. They are proceeding toward the Kiev. So Donald Trump is saying whatever has gone to the Russia, just leave it. Otherwise, anyway, you are going to lose your full country. So 20% is all right now. We will see in future, but that's all right. Anyway, now it has to be understood that Russia should be agree upon it, and then Vladimir Zelensky would be agree upon it. Vladimir Zelensky is saying we want full Ukraine, and Russia is also saying we want full Ukraine. Anyway, now to the question that why this all of sudden peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine had started. Root cause is G20 Group Nation Summit that is happening in Johannesburg, capital of South Africa. G20 Group Nation. There are 21 countries actually. 19 countries and 20th country is European Union and 21st is African Union. G20 Group of Nations, now very big summit is going on in Johannesburg. And in that, they are trying to bring the point of Ukraine ceasefire. In G20 Group of Nation countries, they are trying to bring the issue of Ukraine. United Kingdom, Honorable Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Mr. Keir Starmer, and Honorable President of France, Mr. Emmanuel Macron. Now they are all now vocal in the stopping Russia in Ukraine. Means people are dying out there, and biggest thing is that European Union, United Kingdom, United States unnecessarily they are spending lot of money. America is a country which is in dearth of rare earth metal, and one of the costliest rare earth metal. It is in abundance in Ukraine. So rather than earning money from the Ukraine, earning money from the Ukraine, United States is losing a lot. Now they are finding G20 Nations Summit as an opportunity to raise their voice, and that's why out of sudden they are bringing this point and full European Union, not only this country head, Madam Ursula von der Leyen. She is the president of European Union. She is also talking only one thing, that how Russia can stop controlling the Ukraine. More or less, they are concerned about their expenditure also. Anyway, let's see what will happen as far as Ukraine Russia is concerned if something comes out in G20 Group of Nations Summit. Anyway, this is one part of the discussion. What is next part of the discussion? G20 nation. If people are watching our video, we have already explained that G20 is nothing but it is a group of very rich country and very poor country. That is called G20 nation. 7, 8 countries are very rich, including Russia, and 11 countries are very poor, including China. But out of the way, China has become very rich in last 25 years, and it had 26 years. 1999 G20 started, and when China has become out of the very rich in 26 years from very poor country, more or less it is changing the equation of the world trade. Anyway, China is also participating through Mr. Li Qiang, Premier of China. United States has boycotted this summit, but United States ambassador in Johannesburg, he is participating from the United States. More or less, everyone is participating in 2026 G20 Nation Summit. It has to happen in United States. So the ambassador would receive the invitation to host this in 2026 in United States. Anyway, what India is doing? India is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. In G20 Group of Nations, it is made for the economical stability of the world. What is economical stability of the world? We have clearly spoken in the previous session. What is economical stability of the world? If countries are rich and they are producers, then their produce should be consumed by the consumer country. Now they have kind of they have underlined the countries which are the topmost consumer countries, where people are enthusiastic to consume the product. In that China is there, in that India is there, in that Brazil is there. These are big countries. Okay, in that South Africa is there, in that Argentina is there. That is also a big country. In that Australia is there, in there New Zealand is there, in there Indonesia is there. Indonesia is also a big country. These are consumer countries. So G20 group of summit is actually producer and consumer country, where producer consumer countries, the head of the state, they go and meet the businessman, business people or whatsoever, and they request them to invest in their country. That is the main motto of this G20 nation, to expose the high class business people or to have discussion on the further investment into the developing country, so that they will keep selling their products into the developing country or poor country. This is a typical motto of G20 nation. There should be face to face exposure between rich country and poor country. Poor country, Poor country is Turkmenistan also. Poor country is Afghanistan also. Poor country is Myanmar also. Poor country is Sudan also. Poor country is Libya also. But poor country is Congo also. But these countries are not there because their people may not buy. These people they may not like the foreign product. But India or China they used to buy earlier. But anyway, China has completely inverted now. Now, China is a producer and exporter country rather than consumer. So, India is the main target. Highest populous country in the world is India. And Indian Prime Minister would do anything what they want. Indian Prime Minister had started his role in G20 country. He met the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, had a long discussion. And now there is a company called NASPER, I believe NASPER, in South Africa. And this country is an internet and telecommunication giant in South Africa. Now he had a face-to-face discussion with the CEO of the NASPER, and now he has urged him to invest in India. Okay, India has already Geo kind of company, which is an indigenous company. What those company will do in India, but as per the rule and guidelines of G20 nation, where the receiving end means consumer country, they will open their gate for the G7 countries. Like okay, South Africa is not a G7 country, but still, idea is that only means every consumer country they will hold talks with the businessmen out there, and they will request them to invest in the country. Is it vocal for local? This is what I am asking. Sometime back, Indian Prime Minister was dancing for the vocal for local, vocal for local. Is it vocal for local? Vocal for local would have been if he had taken 10 rising company, 10 internet-based company or 10 electronics-based company in India, startup or whatsoever, to Johannesburg with him, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then he would have mediated, becoming a catalyst. He would have mediated the discussion between the Indian rising company and the companies around the globe who are there, and with the head of the state or something like that, or with their foreign minister or something like that, so that Indian company, the CEO or whatsoever, they would get a chance to understand how this global discussion happens, and then they would have talked to their head of the state or their company CEO, and they would have understood that how Indian company can invest into their country. That should have been the motto. This is called vocal for local, but no. G20, because of this G20 country this summit only, India is day by day going down. One, India has to facilitate the kind of investment of this country into India as an open market, and control the Indian companies, or someone would say to crush the Indian company. This is the motto of G20 country. Anyway, I am happy. Indian Prime Minister is doing what he is supposed to do out here. I have never seen like that. That if G20 nation summit happens in India, then all the American prime president or Canadian president or England prime minister, he come and he talk with any Indian company giant like Geo means Reliance, or any company head, he sit and talk, and he urge them to invest in their country. It never happens in that way, but it is happening in that way. This Indian Prime Minister, wherever he goes, then he is start doing the same story. Can you invest in our country? Can you invest? Then what is? Then he will come back. I don't know what he will do. Is it vocal for local? For local is it means that you open your market for the foreign companies and let the Indian company die like this. You should have done other way. You should have created an environment that American president, if he arrives in India, then he would have urged Indian company head to invest in America. This should have been done. Indian company head should be in Johannesburg talking to the other head of the state, prime minister or president. That situation is expected now. Most populous country and no company out here. Everything is foreign one. Anyway, if Indian Prime Minister do not understand this, then Indian people understand this. They understand what to do. Vocal for local, what it means, and how to proceed in their life. People understand very well. This is what I believe in. So.